Hello, everyone. I am here to talk about the Detroit Lion and Minnesota game that will be happening on Sunday. Now, offensively, Detroit is 24th in total offense at 329.4 yards a game, 21st in passing yards at 226.2 a game. They're tied in 16th in sacks allowed with 37, 34th in rushing yards at 103.1, and they're tied 20th in yards per carry at 4.2. 25th in third down conversions, however, at 36%, and 25th in points per game at 20.3. Defensively, 13th in total defense, 346.1, 11th in passing yards allowed at 230.7, and tied for 12th in sacks with 38. 16th in rushing yards allowed at 115.4, and tied for 16th in yards per carry allowed at 4.5. 14th in defensive third down percentage at 38%, and tied 18th in points per game allowed at 23.8. Now, their injury report: Bruce Ellington, receiver, he's out. Charles Washington, a safety, out with a knee, both of them. Jamal Agnew is questionable with a knee. LeGarrette Blount, questionable with a calf. Kenny Golladay, questionable with a chest. Damon Harrison is questionable with an ankle, but he didn't practice until Friday. So he could potentially be closer to doubtful than questionable. And Devin Kennard has a hip, he's questionable. And Matthew Stafford, back injury, questionable. Now, Minnesota, their offense is 15th in total offense at 358.9, 10th in passing yards at 263.9, 14th in sacks allowed at 34, 29th in rushing yards at 95, and they are tied 20th in yards per carry at 4.2. They are 19th in third down percentage on offense at 38%, 17th in points per game at 23.1. Defensively, they are 4th in total defense at 314.3 yards allowed a game, 4th in passing yards allowed at 202.9, and 1st in sacks with 47, 13th in rushing yards allowed at 111.4, and tied 8th in yards per carry allowed at 4.1. They are 1st in third down percentage defensively at 29%, and 12th in points per game allowed at 22. Their injury report this week is much smaller than it has been in the past, and that's only Eric Kendricks, but he's out with a hamstring. Will miss his first game of his career, I believe. Now, Linval was removed from the final injury report for this game. However, he didn't practice on Thursday and was limited on Friday, and something just to kind of be concerned about. But it's nice because that's one of the few positions we kind of have depth on this team. So obviously it helps to have Linval, but Now offensively, I believe this is fun part here. But offensively, you need to be able to get the ball rolling a bit. They allow 115 yards a game, and they may be without Damon Harrison, their best run defender. They got him to defend the run. I believe they got him, the first game they had him was actually against us, where Cook broke off the 70-yard run. And I believe going into that game, they were allowing something crazy, like 140-something yards, 45, I think, in that realm. And now that's gone down to 115. That's more respectable. And if he's not there, they might see more glimpses of that prior run defense. And you got David Morgan back for the second consecutive week. So we're probably going to see another run-heavy offense, even though this team will be harder to run against, I believe, than Miami was. And in the passing game, attack players not named Darius Slay. I think that's probably the best way to go about this. They don't have too many playmakers outside of Darius Slay in that secondary, and you might be able to take advantage of whichever one's not on, Diggs or Thielen, whichever one it may be. You might be able to get your play action shots in there because last time we played him, Diggs was hurt. He's going to play this game, and that might allow for some more big play opportunities. And they have a decent pass rush over there, I would say. So protect Cousins, and that would prevent at least some of the bad decisions that he can make at times. And obviously the strip sacks. Strip sacks would be at a minimum if you actually protect him adequately. And kind of hoping we just see overall improvement with Kevin Stefanski. Last week was his first week calling plays. He's going to his second week now. Had probably a more normal week this week than you would have last week. But I'm just hoping we see some improvement because there was kind of this lull after those first 3 drives and where they just couldn't really get anything. And their third down percentage last week was at 38%. So just kind of looking for, I guess, more consistency as opposed to we kind of had these 2 outbursts of just offensive explosions. But if we can see consistency throughout the game, that's more sustainable and it's better to see. Defensively, no Kendricks might hurt us, but Eric Wilson, I assume, is the one that will step in. He stepped in with Barr. He has played well this year when he's been forced to, play. And I would anticipate him playing at least at an okay level once again. So it's going to hurt that Kendricks isn't there, but I don't think it will be a make or break kind of deal. And obviously you need to take away the run with the way this team is built. There's no Kerryon Johnson. He's on IR. LeGarrette Blount, he's banged up. Our strength is the defensive line and our front 7. Even without Kendricks, that's pretty much the strength of our team. So impose your will. Do what you will do. And limit Kenny Golladay as much as humanly possible. I don't care if it's Xavier Rhodes or if it's Trey Waynes with Harrison. I don't care how they do it. You just limit him as much as you possibly can. And that might be how they did it last time, which was make life hell for Matthew Stafford. And am I anticipating 10 sacks? No, I'm not. That's a ridiculous number, and they will probably not get that again. But if you can kind of not let him beat you downfield and force someone else to beat you, whether it's due to coverage and or pressure, I think that will keep the defense in check and pretty much keep Stafford and that Lions offense at bay. We don't need one of these kind of trap game scenarios where this is a game we should win that we don't win for odd reasons. And just make sure you take it as it is. Special teams, I would like them to keep the momentum they got from last week carrying forward. I thought the special teams played great last week, and I would like to say that most weeks, but they usually don't, especially in the kicking game, Dan Bailey. But yeah, my prediction here is I'm going to take Minnesota 27-20. Detroit might have already – they don't really have anything to play for. They could be done. I don't know if they've packed it in yet, but Buffalo might have killed their spirits. And Minnesota still has something to play for, and Detroit's just out of it. So I'm going to take Minnesota 27-20. I still think it'll be close because division games tend to be, but it wouldn't be totally surprising for me to see if Detroit has, totally just checked out. But yeah, I'd like to know what you guys think down in the comments below. And until next time, I bid y'all adieu.